Good evening, and welcome to Monday Night Politics, sponsored by the Dallas Examiner. I am Christy Thomas, a coordinator for tonight's event. Tonight, I want to give the candidates and the audience a few housekeeping guidelines to ensure that the forum moves smoothly so we can provide a space that is safe and conducive to learn about each candidate and their platform. I will start with candidates. Candidates, you will have 2 minutes for your opening statement and 2 minutes for your closing statement, along with 1 minute to talk about what you're passionate about. The moderator may have questions for you. Our timekeeper tonight is Anthony Marshall. If you would raise your hand, sir. He will provide a placard to inform you of the time you have left to answer questions given, if there are questions given. Candidates, this time should be spent talking about how you will implement your plan and your goals for the seat if you are elected. Your time should not be spent talking about your opponent and their shortfalls or their issues. Please remain respectful throughout the forum and respect the space that has been donated to us for the purpose of educating our community on political candidates. Tonight's forum will be live streamed through Facebook. The Dallas Examiner has been presenting Monday Night Politics, Meet the Candidate, for over 15 years prior to major elections. I want to stress that all candidates are invited through email invitation. The Dallas Examiner does not endorse candidates. We could not do this alone. We have our nonprofit organizations, 2 Minute to Name, our Black sororities and fraternities, NAACP chapters, the Links, and the African American Museum. Our moderator tonight is Eric Wilson. Eric served on the Dallas City Council and is very familiar with city government and the community. Lastly, please silence your phones, and video recording is prohibited for this event. On behalf of Molly Bell and the Dallas Examiner, we would like to thank you again for attending Monday Night Politics, Meet the Candidates. Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Anthony Marshall. I'm serving double duty tonight. I'm here to be the timekeeper and also to introduce you to an organization called the Dallas Voting Initiative. The Dallas Voting Initiative is a part of what is the Texas Voting Initiative, which is an organization which is designed to get people out to vote. We are doing partnerships with the Divine Nine, the NAACP, and other organizations. We ask that you would reach out to the Dallas Voting Initiative. You can find them online, Dallas Voting Initiative, to help us get voters out. We have a in-person informational meeting on September the 26th at the deck, which is at 3650 Camp Wisdom. Thank you. Oh, from 10 to 2.
All right, good evening. It appears I'm the only one in here this evening. All right, good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. Those that are online, thank you for streaming in and watching us, and to our guests and to our candidates who are in person, we thank you. First of all, my name is Eric with the K. Wilson, and I will be your moderator for this evening. I will go over a few short announcements before we get started. One, I'll talk to the candidates first. Candidates, as you're coming up, you have a seat here. For you and your opponent, we ask you to stand here, but if you do take the mic, remember that the camera is here and that you are speaking not only to the audience, but also to the individuals online, okay? All right, and that the format is going to be changed just a little bit. You will have 5 minutes to present yourself, okay? So think of it as your 2-minute opening, your 1-minute question or answering your question, and then your 2-minute closing, except you get to do it all in one time, okay? So that 1 minute, just a suggestion, whatever you're passionate about, Let that be what you talk about and then close out. You have 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I have instructed Mr. Marshall that if you go past your 5 minutes to jump on stage and tackle you. Okay? So let's not let that happen. We don't want to go viral for the wrong reasons. All right, but again, no. But we want you to be able to have time to be able to present who you are. Don't assume that everyone knows who you are. As a candidate, you always want to present yourself. Let us know how we can get in touch with you. Let us know who you are, how we can look you up, things of that nature, okay? You have not because you ask not. All right? All hearts and minds clear? All right. All right. So now, those that are here, we want you to understand one thing. You are an influencer. Okay? You influence individuals. Whether those individuals are in your family, your friends, your co-workers, your churches, your cigar clubs, your fitness clubs, daycare, school, wherever you impact, you are influencing someone. So, let me just say this. One of the best ways, what's the best way to get something out? What's the best way for something to spread?
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth. But how? Social media? Okay. That too. One of the best ways to get something out is
The black press.
the black press. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Amen. That and to keep it a secret. Because we love to have secrets, right? We love secrets. Because if I got something that nobody else, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell everybody about it. Okay, so pretend that this is a secret so we can have everybody know about it. Okay? For those that are watching online, we would love to have you in these seats, physically here, meeting with our candidates. Not only can you ask them questions on stage, but also you'll be able to interact with them, see that they're real people, ask them legitimate questions, and have them to speak back and forth. This is a good opportunity for constituents to meet those potential elected officials, those that will be making decisions on your behalf. Okay? Next. All right. So November 5th. Who we voting for? Well, what candidates are we voting for?
Kamala Harris.
No.
Tim Walz.
President.
Oh, there we go.
Senate.
The importance. We're voting down ballot. Everybody likes to talk about the president. That's great. That's wonderful. We understand that. That is wonderful. Presidents only have enough power if they have the down ballot races. So encourage your friends, encourage your families, your social groups, not only just to go in and to hit whoever they're going to vote for president, but also go down the entire list of candidates. Tonight we have invited 14 different races of candidates. They want your votes. They have spent money, they have spent time, they're passionate about who they are, they want you to know who they are. Please take the time to encourage your family members, again, your friends, all your people that you influence on social media, black newspapers. Encourage them to vote down ballot races. Don't just go in and push one and leave. Spend the time, because that's where the real power is. You want to see power? Vote down ballot. Okay? All right. We have early voting begins when?
October 21st.
Okay, so roughly 42 days. Okay? Election day is November 5th, 57 days. We are in the last hours. We are in the throes of it. This is the most important time. Registering individuals, joining organizations, they help mobilize and educate. God forbid there's still somebody who's undecided, but you'll have an opportunity tonight to be decided for those candidates that show up tonight, if you're still undecided. So those that are watching, again, we ask that you submit your questions online. While we may not ask the questions tonight, but we'll make sure that the candidates get an opportunity to answer those questions. Again, no photographing, please no video, please. So if you have your social media team, tell them they can get it offline where?
That was exactly.
Exactly. Call and response. I like that. All right. So with that, we'll begin. Is there anything else that I missed? All right. Again, thank you to Ms. Molly Belt and the Dallas Examiner for, again, putting on another wonderful evening of Monday Night Politics. While this Monday Night Politics is abbreviated version, normally we would go each Monday, but due to the fact that we have this small thing called the State Fair of Texas that's developing outside, it's going to cut into some of those Mondays. Okay, so but tonight we have a condensed version of that, but nonetheless, still just as impactful, as important as if we were doing this every week. We're going to do it all in one night. Okay, so we'll go ahead and with that, we'll go ahead and get started with our races, and we'll start. Do we want to go down, up, or do we want to go up, down? Start at the top. All right. It has been spoken. It has been said. Follow instructions. All right. So we'll start with the first race. Our U.S. Representative District 5. Candidates, if you would, please make your way to the stage, and I will allow the candidates to introduce themselves when they, as they come onto the stage. You can pick either seat if you want. Just ready?
Yeah.
All right.
I need a little grace. I had oral surgery yesterday, so we'll work through it. Thank you. Like you, I can no longer tolerate the dysfunction and corruption in our government by Judas politicians bought by the 1% for their own profit at our expense. The Republicans are no longer the party of Lincoln. They're not even the party of Bush. Extremists have hijacked the Republican Party and declared war against our democracy. They didn't stop with January 6th. Now they want to take us backwards with Project 2025, a plan already in motion to destroy the democracy our military heroes fought and died for. They want to destroy public education nationwide with vouchers. They want to strip us of consumer rights and worker rights, increase the age for Social Security and Medicare, and take away women's rights, put millions of people into work camps. They want to allow big business to pollute us and make the 1% even richer by making the rest of us poorer, sicker, and run for our lives. My name is Ruth the Truth Torres, and I'm running for U.S. Congress, Texas District 5, to serve the people of District 5, to fight for progress for our families, progress for our communities, and progress for our country. My website is truthincongress.com, and I ask for you to allow me to serve you, the people of Congressional District 5. Thank you.
You got 3 minutes.
You got 3 minutes left.
Okay.
Take it or leave it.
But
All
you
right. Leave it. I would not be a politician at all. I've been volunteering as a community activist for over 20 years. For the last 7 years, I've been fighting against government corruption at great personal and professional expense. But my faith is my driving force, so I will not stop. My work, along with DISD trustee Camille White, brought back $32 million to where it belongs to help build a new high school in Seagullwood, to increase the number of affordable housing units in downtown Dallas, and to uncover worker abuses and corruption at DFW Airport that could have national impact. I've been so effective at making good trouble, there's some folks trying to run me out of town. So instead, I decided to run for Congress, where I will work to prevent vouchers from destroying our public education. I'll work for the rights. I'll work for the best interests of people. And stop the rhetoric, the partisanship. I will be focused on achieving common goals, the best interests of our families and our communities. Because people are tired of folks just using rhetoric and partisanship and sound bites. That's not governance. We need solutions, real solutions that affect our lives. And that's what I will work for. I won't forget who I work for. My commitment is to God, to country, and the people of District 5. I won't forget that for any enemy, foreign or domestic. Again, my name is Ruth the Truth Torres for U.S. Congress, District 5. My website is truthincongress.com. I ask you to send me your messages, send me your questions, like, follow, share. I'm on all of them. Truthincongress.com. Thank you.
All right. I love I love the enthusiasm. I love the energy. But there's one thing I forgot to mention to everybody. We're up here to learn about you. So when you're up here speaking about you, we want to hear about you. We don't want to hear about what you think about your opponent, why your opponent is or is not, was or will. We are here to learn about your campaign, who you are. So as I give who you are, I don't want to hear about your opponent. Okay? I want to hear about you and your candidate, your candidacy, your race. Okay? All right. All hearts and minds clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. All right. So next, our next race is the U.S. Representative District, U.S. House Representative District 32. Have any candidates for 32?
Did we get to find out who she's running against?
Okay.
The guy asked you a question.
I'm sorry. Who question?
Did we get to find out who her opposition is, who she's running against?
So can I answer that? It's her opponent.
Oh yeah, I have her opponent, Lance Gooding. Okay. I am allowing the candidates as they come up to introduce themselves. If they're not here, then I will in the future say the name of the candidate who's not here. Okay. Any other questions? All right. So are there any candidates for District 32? Julie Johnson and Darrell Day. Okay. All right. Moving right along. Texas Supreme Court, place 6. Texas Supreme Court, place 6. Any candidates? That would be Bonnie Goldstein and Jan Bland. All right. Next, we have Court of Criminal Appeals, place 7.
Bingo.
Come on down.
Good evening, my name is Nancy Mulder, and I am one of your current criminal district court judges here in Dallas County. I have been practicing criminal law here in Dallas for 29 years, 12 as a prosecutor, 8 as a criminal defense attorney, and I'm in my 10th year on the bench. Oh, thank you very much. I started as one of your county court judges, and during my term there, I was one of the co-chairs with Judge Gracie Lewis for the mental health PR bond initiatives that we implemented. I led my fellow judges in ending what we called show cause warrants, which is where when somebody's on probation, if they hadn't paid their fees, an automatic warrant for their arrest would be issued. And we put a stop to that. I led that charge because that isn't fair. What we do now is send a letter, they come in, and we ask them what the problem is. And if you can't pay, if you lost your job, fell on hard times, which has happened a lot recently, then we certainly take that into account. We're not gonna put people in jail because they can't pay. As your district court judge in Criminal District Court 6, when I took the bench January of 23, but in the first 6 months I reduced the jail chain, meaning the people who were incarcerated waiting to come to court or go to trial, I reduced that by 40%, taking into account and making sure that everyone was brought to court so that their voices could be heard. Now, what I'm running for. I'm running for the Court of Criminal Appeals, place 7. The Court of Criminal Appeals is the court of last resort for all 30 million people who live in Texas if they're charged and convicted of a crime. This is the court that hears death penalty cases. This is also the court where if you're convicted and your case has gone all the way through the appellate process, where your writ of habeas corpus is filed. Now, why that's important is because there are only 7 attorneys in this court, the Court of Criminal Appeals, that take a look at these writs. We have about almost 200,000 incarcerated people in Texas right now. So if each one of them files a writ saying, I've been wrongfully convicted, please, or help me, there is new evidence in my case that demonstrates I am innocent, or my lawyer was ineffective, that writ of habeas corpus is their only chance to right the wrong. And 7 attorneys is not enough. 7 goes into 200,000, 28,000 times. So there's one lawyer looking at one writ for all these thousands of people. There hasn't been, as you well know, a Democrat who has won a statewide race in more than 30 years. This court has always fallen along the way of excusing some behaviors, like the case where a defense attorney was sleeping during trial and ruling that that was not ineffective assistance of counsel and things like that. There must be balance on this court. I love Dallas and I love what I do here and I love being your judge, but I'm running for this higher office so that we can extend and expand on what we've done here in Dallas across the state, because it is very, very needed. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you to the Examiner for giving us this opportunity. And thank you. This is my 4th time on this stage, and I really appreciate it. I've been a Democrat a long, long time, started as a precinct chair in Obama's 2nd campaign. So thank you all so much. Oh, JudgeNancyMulder.com. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, just so you know that in an effort to be as fair and just to both parties, since this is a party race and this is done every Monday Night Politics, an invitation is always extended to both candidates or all candidates that are running. And it's their decision, for whatever reason, to show up. Some will let us know that they're not going to show up, some won't. But rest assured that all candidates have been invited equally at the same time to show up. And her opponent is Gina Parker. Okay.
Republican or Democrat?
No, sir, that's a Republican.
All right. Next, Criminal Court of Appeals, place 8. Either candidate. Court of Appeals, Court of Criminal Appeals, place 8. Okay. Hearing none, seeing none. Chica, and I always have help me with her last name. I am. Yes. And Lee Finley. All right. Next, State Representative District 113. State Representative District 113. All right. Hearing and seeing none. That is Rita Bowers. Retta Bowers. I practiced that all day too. Retta Bowers and Stephen Stanley. All right. Next, we have Dallas County Commissioner District 1. Dallas County Commissioner District 1. Candidates, please step forward.
Hi there. My name is Jason Metcalf. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself and why I'm running. I was born in Dallas around 50 years ago. I grew up in East Dallas, which is where I'm running for. So just so you know, before I start, District 1 goes all the way up from Collin County, North Garland, all the way down to Pleasant Grove at I-20, sort of Skillman on the east side, all the way over to 635 on the west side. So it's East Dallas, all of Garland, parts of Mesquite, and Balch Springs. So that's what District 1 is running for. So I'm running for the County Commissioner's Court. So I was born in Dallas, grew up in Dallas, I grew up as a under a single mom, didn't have a father, grew up poor, went to college on scholarship, graduated with 3 degrees in 3 years. On scholarship, went on to go on to law school at the University of Virginia School of Law, but I actually never practiced law. I went into business. I've been doing consulting for the last 25 years, helping businesses improve, grow all over the world. I've worked in South Africa, I've worked in Australia, worked in Canada, the United Kingdom, worked all over the United States. And that's where I met my wife. My wife is actually from New Zealand, and we've been living in, we moved back to Dallas 20 years ago, and we've been living in the same house in Lake Highlands the last 20 years. I have 2 children. My son Hayward is at cadet at West Point, and my daughter is starting 9th grade this year. Why am I running? I think any politician who's running needs to answer one fundamental question. Are you going to create a place where your child would could determine whether they could live here, whether they could afford to live here, and whether they would want to live here? At the end of the day, when you're serving, are you creating a community, are you creating a city where people would want to live here, right? Your children. So that's why I'm running. I'm really concerned about the direction of Dallas County. Just so you know, one, they raised taxes over 100% over the last 10 years. What does that mean? That means taxes are now 30% higher in real terms. Everybody's talking about inflation, how hard it is. Think about renters, right? Renters aren't protected by the homestead exemption. So when their property values go up, they're not protected. And that gets passed down to them in higher rents. And so you're seeing people struggle to get by because the taxes are higher. So that means that it's too expensive to live in Dallas. We've actually lost population in Dallas County over the last 4 years. We have less population in Dallas County now than we did in 2019. 45,000 families have moved to surrounding counties because they have a lower cost of living. They have lower taxes, lower rents, right? So we have a declining tax base in Dallas County, in Garland, and in other locations. This year, the Dallas County Commissioners are raising taxes 8.5%. Inflation's only been at 3% this year. So why are they raising taxes again after they've raised it 100% over the last 10 years? Again, if they continue with this, we're going to have a declining tax base and everyone else is going to be paying much higher taxes. So we need to do something about it. Secondly, they're doing a poor job of managing it. They waited 8 months into this fiscal year to figure out that Dallas County had blown through its overtime budget by $50 million. $50 million. Why? Because they didn't even look at the budget of a $1.7 billion organization until 8 months into the fiscal year. Does anybody here who runs a business or knows people who runs a business would look at the books of the business 8 months into the year? I don't think so. We need people who understand how large organizations work, how to be able to get the most out of it for our customers. Who are the customers? The voters. And so we need to get more people involved in our local government to make sure that we are improving the services. Last thing, and I'm running out of time, but the jail. The jail is getting to be overpopulated. We have 400 prisoners who belong with the Texas Department of Criminal Corrections. We need to be doing a better job working with the state to make sure that we're moving those prisoners out of the county jail into the facilities for Texas. We do that, we'll alleviate the overcrowding that's happening in the Dallas County Jail, and that's something the Dallas County Commissioners oversee. So I want to get in, I want to get involved, and I want to make sure that we're improving Dallas County for everyone. Thank you so much. Oh, sorry. My website is Jason Metcalf for Dallas. That's Jason Metcalf, FOR Dallas.com. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And his opponent is Teresa Daniel. Also, candidates, as you are coming up, make sure that you are letting us know who you are, how we can get in touch with you. We may want to look at your website, may want to call you, volunteer. Give us that information so that we will be able to do so, and your party affiliation, because we may or may not be familiar with you. Okay? All right. Next, we have our Texas 5th District Court of Appeals, Place 9. Place 9. Candidates, please step forward.
evening. How are you all? Fantastic. My name is Judge Tina Clinton, and I'm the Democratic nominee for the 5th District Court of Appeals, Place 9. Currently, I am your judge for Criminal District Court number 1, and I'm a 4-term elected Democrat. Just to give you a little bit of information about my background, I grew up in Duncanville, graduated out of Duncanville High School, and I went to the University of Texas at Austin. I was a philosophy major, and after I graduated there, I went to SMU and received my JD, my law degree. I became a prosecutor, I became a defense attorney after that, and then I was very fortunate and blessed to be able to be a municipal court judge for 2 municipalities in Dallas County. Those are appointment processes. After that, I went on because I discovered that I enjoyed and that I really love dealing with the public in terms of the judicial side. I decided to run for a bench. I was able to win County Court number 8, where when I was a judge there for 8 years, I was able to reduce that docket by over 150%. That court had over 260 jury trials pending when I came into that court. At the end of the first year, I only had 80 trials remaining. So because of what I learned at County Court 8, I was able to then run for Criminal District Court number 1, a felony court. That is where I sit now. As of Friday, my court had the lowest number of people pending in jail when I double-checked those numbers. And I'm very pleased and honored to serve the citizens of Dallas County. So why this next move? Because what the 5th District Court of Appeals does is it reviews the work of the trial courts that are underneath it. That includes municipal courts, county courts, and district courts. I'm the only person that, if honored and selected by the citizens of Dallas, Collin, Kaufman, Rockwall, Hunt, and Grayson counties, will sit as one of the 13 members of the court that has the unique experience of serving on all of those tiers of courts. Now, as you can tell, my background is in criminal law. As of January of 2025, when the new electeds go back onto this bench, there will only be 1 justice out of 13, if I am not there, that has a criminal law background. If I join that group, there is only 2 of us that will have practiced in a manner that not only has prosecutorial, defense, but also judicial experience. I have 18 years of judicial experience. I bring with that 400 plus jury trials with my background, including civil cases. I have had the honor of trying civil cases as well. So civil trials, even though are not as plentiful in my background as criminal, I still have them, and I have the ability to learn, and I have the ability to serve you and the other citizens of the 5 counties. I'm also the only person that is running that has the experience of teaching what is called the College of New Judges. When new judges get elected, Texas does not just tell the judges good luck. We actually bring them in, we teach them basics, we encourage them to have mentors, and we also give them ethics training as well as bench books and things that will be tools for them to be on the bench. I not only have taught that course, I have actually worked on the bench book that is given to the judges all throughout the states to be able to use as a resource. So, with this experience, I would love to serve you in a different capacity come January of 2025. I would be honored if you would vote for me. My name is Tina Clinton. I'm your Democratic nominee for the 5th District Court of Appeals, Place 9. And my website is Judge Tina Clinton Campaign.com. You can also find me on Facebook. Thank you.
Okay, and her opponent, who's not here, Matthew Kolofsky. All right, next, moving on, we have our Texas 5th District Court of Appeals, Place 11, Court of Appeals, Place 11. Candidates, please come forward.
Good evening. I want to thank the examiner for inviting us here, and especially Ms. Belt for all her kindness and always inviting us and having this wonderful forum for the public. I'm Judge Kim Cooks. I'm the Democratic nominee for the 5th District Court of Appeals, Place 11. A little bit about myself. I started my legal career out as a prosecutor and then went on into private practice as a criminal defense attorney, where I have had trials and been a trial attorney in criminal, family, civil, and juvenile law. For 8 years, I sat as a presiding judge of family court as well as protective order court, and for the past 2 years, I've sat as the visiting judge in 5 of the 6 counties I'm running for, which is Dallas, Collin, Hunt, Grayson, Kaufman, and Rockwall, as civil, criminal, family, as well as juvenile. So I am the only candidate in this race who has the experience as a trial attorney in criminal, family, civil, and juvenile, and also sat as a judge in all 4 of those areas. One of the things I believe in is serving the community. I believe in educating the community. I'm always out in the community, and I believe transparency is important. So I want the community to know, how do you appeal a case? How do you get to the 5th District Court of Appeals? And I think that's important. And they need to know who sits on the Court of Appeals, because justice is only better together, and it's important that you include the community that we serve, so they are aware. And if they have questions, they can ask questions and not be blinded about how they get to the Court of Appeals. My website is www.judgeforjustice.com. And when you go to that website, there's a stream that says Tap for History. Tap on that, and it'll bring you to a calendar where you can put that calendar into your phone, and it'll remind you daily to go vote for me, to go vote for the Court of Appeals. Okay. And so one of the other things for the Court of Appeals, they're trying to take over the Court of Appeals. I'm the Democratic nominee, and they want to take over the Court of Appeals because they don't like the fact that Dallas County as well as Harris County is Democrat. The judiciary is Democrat. And they want to take over this. So they've thrown candidates into this. We need everybody to go to the polls, tell a person, take people to the polls. Encourage people to go to the polls. It's one thing that you register people to vote, but you have to motivate them to go to the polls and vote, not only from the White House, but to your house, because the judiciary, the 5th District Court of Appeals, as well as the rest of the judiciary, affects your house. It's an immediate effect on your house, and that's something that's very important. So again, I'm Judge Kim Cooks, 5th District Court of Appeals, Place 11.
And her opponent is Gino Rosani. All right, we will double back to one of our previous races. One of our candidates just entered the room. State Representative District 113, Retta Bowers.
Good evening. I am State Representative Retta Andrews Bowers. I represent House District 113 in your Texas House of Representatives. And it has been a complete honor to serve in this capacity in the last 6 years. I'm completing my 3rd term and seeking a 4th. It has been an honor to serve in this capacity, especially being that I was the first African American to accept and assume the role of representative for a people that doesn't look like me. The first time I ran was in 2016. Many of you may know, but if you don't, I received 45% of the vote in that race against a 3-term incumbent, a Republican incumbent, and almost beat her on a very resourceful $60,000. I was proud of that $60,000 that we were able to raise back then. Served in my 1st term and was able to pass legislation, and then in my sophomore term moved to leadership as a vice chair of Homeland Security and Public Safety. I've done a majority of my work in the Texas House in criminal justice reform, and certainly have to say that in my third term, I was able to pass the Texas Crown Act. I want to get that in before my time. Thank you. And when you serve a people that don't look like you, they certainly always don't appreciate you. It's a thankless job, but one that I feel is very much well worth it. I've had constituents call me off the floor during a vote just to tell me we didn't vote for you. You just happen to be our rep, and we just wanted to meet you. So I probably told them that thank you for coming to your state capitol, but I now must go back into the chamber to continue and do the work that I was elected to do. It takes quite a bit of grace to serve people that don't appreciate you. But I stand tall and I go back into that chamber every time, carrying the people that I continue to serve on my back and on my shoulders, regardless. And I will do that to the best of my ability as long as I'm supposed to be there. Right now, the district has been redrawn. I have to say that. I came in serving 176,000 constituents. I'm now right at exactly 182,476. My second and sophomore term was a redistricting term. I served as the chair of the delegation at that time, and I want to say that once I knew that my district was drawn maybe a little more safe, don't like to say I'm safe at all, but once I knew that, it was my duty to make sure that other districts weren't chopped up and sliced up, and made sure that we didn't see a loss when it came to the 14 members of the delegation that we had. So I fought very hard to make sure that our districts weren't chopped up, and that still happened. But I only could do that after I made sure that I fought for my own constituents. And so I'm grateful for this opportunity to serve, grateful for the opportunity to be looking at a fourth term to go back and represent a district that I call home. I've been living in the district, this is not 2024, living in the district this year for 24 years when Thanksgiving comes. So Thanksgiving will be celebrated for my household in a lot of ways. I meet constituents, continue to meet some of the new constituents that I have. I gained quite a bit of my constituency this go round from neighboring districts, whether that was House District 112 or House District 107. And so I am still introducing myself. Even at this stage, I'm introducing myself to those constituents. And I have to say this is something that I'm proud of. In the next 15 seconds, I must share with you that I have constituents that I am the only Democrat serving them at this point. And I know what it would mean for a loss of my seat. And I think that's my time. Thank you. So, thank you for that. My website is rettabowers.com. You can certainly reach me there. Bowers4, the number 4tx@gmail is the most accurate email to reach our campaign. And I just want to say thank you for this time.
And again, her opponent is Stephen Stanley. All right. As we move forward, our next candidate, first of all, again, thank you to those that are watching. Thank you again to those that are here. This is good information for those that may not be so familiar with the down ballot races. Again, that is why we're doing this. That is to educate the public as to who they are, give the candidates an opportunity to express their their position and what they stand for and how they intend to serve if duly elected. Our next race is for the Texas 5th District Court of Appeals, place 12. Place 12. Candidates, please step forward.
Eric Wilson, thank you, and Dallas Examiner, thank you, and Molly Bell, thank you so much for this opportunity. You've been educating the people in this community for years in these political races. I'm Justice Ken Malberg. I'm the Democrat who fills a seat on the place 12 of the Dallas Court of Appeals. I'm running for re-election along with 7 other Democrats who are opposed by 8 Republicans. 4 of us Democrats are here tonight. You've heard from Judge Kim Cooks and Judge Tina Clinton. You'll hear, I'm sure, from Judge Stacey Williams, who is our nominee for Chief Justice of the court. The 5th court is what I call the most important court that you've never heard of. It is basically your court of last resort. What that means is that the courts above us, Texas has 2 Supreme Courts, so to speak, the Texas Supreme Court and the Court of Criminal Appeals. They don't have to hear your case, but the 5th Court of Appeals does. We are the largest appellate court in Texas. We're comprised of 13 members. So when you hear us speak tonight, and we're all candidates for that court, remember, there will be 8 separate races on your ballot in November for 8 separate justices of that court. Roughly 5.5 years ago, 8 of us took that court back for the Democratic Party for the first time in anyone's memory. We intend to do that again. And that brings me to the point, and I'm going to play off of something Eric Wilson said early on when he was introducing the program. It's a point of concern for me. We can't just go in there and vote for president and U.S. Senate and leave it at that. We have got to keep voting down the ballot for all these good people, most of whom you've heard from tonight. Regardless of who you're for, and I've already told you basically how I'm voting for everybody, but those people need a strong foundation. And that foundation is all of those candidates who are in those down ballot races. Now, we have 6 counties to cover. And Anthony, if I go too long, jump up here and wring my neck. We have 6 counties to cover. As you probably know, Dallas County is our best county. We have got to have a heck of a turnout in this county to survive. And let me tell you something else. Dallas County, if we could get our non-voters to vote who are really with us, we could turn the state of Texas. Now, there is a mission before us, and we've got to do that because you have Austin, and more particularly Greg Abbott, who has created a court that went into effect on September 1st, actually 2 courts, but this so-called business courts, which is special courts for special people, is made up of judges appointed, not elected, appointed only by Greg Abbott. So he has already taken your vote away. Don't let him do it this time. There are some good candidates on that ballot. You've heard from many of them tonight. Please get out there and vote all the way down the ballot. My name is Ken Malberg. I'm the Justice of the 5th Court of Appeals. Please help me again. Thank you.
His opponent is Mike Lee. All right, next we have our Texas 5th District Court of Appeals, place 13. Place 13. One more. Texas 5th Court of Appeals, place 13. Hearing none, seeing none. Tanya Parker, Emily Miskell. Emily Miskell. And now, Texas Fifth Court of Appeals Chief Justice. Candidates, please step forward.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Stacey Williams, and currently I'm the presiding judge of the 101st Civil District Court in Dallas County, where you elected me in 2014, re-elected me in 2018, and 2020. I stand here for you today as the Democratic nominee to be the next Chief Justice of the 5th District Court of Appeals. I have wonderful candidates with me. We've heard from Judge Cooks, we've heard from Judge Mulberg, we've heard from Judge Tina Yu. Right now, we have 2 Republicans on that court. We need to reduce that number. We are a solid blue. As Justice Mulberg mentioned, we took over the Court of Appeals, and they've already started to roll down. We've got to have a solid Democratic court. My opponent is an appointee by Governor Abbott. And the thing about being the Chief Justice, it's more being the CEO administrator of the court. You need experience, you need education, and you need to be innovative. Experience, I bring over 35 years of legal experience, 10 years as a trial court judge. I've been an arbitrator for DART, the U.S. Postal Service, NASDAQ FINRA, Washington Metropolitan Airport Board. I've been a municipal court judge for the city of Dallas. On top of that, I'm certified as a senior professional in human resources by the SHRM, Society for Human Resources. We need that experience. Also, you need education. I'm a graduate of the Georgetown University Law Center in Washington, D.C., Smith College with a degree in economics, and I also did a special studies in economics at Yale University. One thing about being a leader, you've got to be innovative. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over again. You've got to be able to think out the box and think of new ways to resolve problems. And I've done that as a state district court judge. In 2015, I created the Citizen Civil Academy, which is a free, nonpartisan program to educate citizens about the civil court process. Since 2015, we've graduated over 450 citizens, ranging in age from 7 to 92. I pay for this program with my campaign funds, and we've taken it to 17 locations. I am so proud to announce that we are beginning it back up. We stopped because of COVID, and we're going to be at the University of Texas at Dallas at Richardson on September 21st. And if you want more information, go to our website, www.ccadallas.com. Another way of being innovative, during COVID, a lot of the attorneys weren't getting all the information what was going on at the court. So I developed an email that said Coffee and Bagels with the 101st District Court, serving as a link between the courts and the general public. That's been very successful, and I plan on continuing it. Guys, we need your help. Please, we've got to keep the Court of Appeals blue. We're all qualified, and we come with experience. If you look at the other side, for example, my opponent has never been elected as a judge. He was appointed by Greg Abbott a year and a half ago. He does not have the experience to lead that court. All of the Democratic candidates are qualified and experienced. Let us lead you. Don't forget us when you walk into the ballot booth. I know what you're going to do at the top, but we are going to affect your lives on a daily basis. I am Judge Stacey Williams. That's Stacey with an I. www.judgestacey.com. Send me an email, stacy@judgestacey.com. Thank you.
And her opponent is JJ. Is it Cox? Coach. My bad. All right, next we have District Judge, I guess, Eric Moyer. That's how I spell on here. I'm just going by what was spelled. Okay. And Leah Feldenler. Either one? Okay. All right. And our final candidates, District Judge Kim Bailey, Ashley Wishcock. clap, it's okay.
Good evening. My name is Kim Bailey. I am a lifelong Democrat, and as was said, I am the Democratic nominee for the 162nd Civil District Court in Dallas County. A little bit about me from background. I didn't grow up in Texas. I grew up in New York. I went to Harvard undergrad, where I got my degree in sociology, and then the University of Virginia Law School for my law degree. A little bit about the court. This is the court that covers all of Dallas County, and it covers any sort of dispute that's not family law, probate law, and criminal law. So everything else comes through this court, which is part of the reason why it's so important. It is also the first level of dealing with any dispute, so that if you're challenging some legislation, we know there's crazy legislation been coming out of Austin lately, that's where this would go. And what we need, and it's important, is to have good, fair, experienced trial judges who can make the right decisions before it gets to the Court of Appeals, where they have to correct bad decisions that are made by judges who are not doing what they should do. What I would bring to that court is 33 years of legal experience as a trial lawyer in courts in Texas, in Maryland, in DC, and in Georgia. I have a varied experience. I've been in a number of different types of courts at the state and federal level, so I have an idea of what is needed, what sort of procedures should happen that would make things better for not only the court and making it efficient, but also for the most important people, the parties, and making sure the big part of that, what I'm really passionate about, and I think is the bottom line most important thing, is making sure that when there's a dispute, the parties come in and that both sides are treated fairly and equally. I'm not in Texas, but I've been on the other side of that, where I knew walking in as a defense lawyer how the court was going to rule without even listening to what was happening. And I think that's something I talk to my clients about, and the judges that you've heard here and the judges that we have in Dallas County do a good job of that, and I want to add to be a person who also does that and make sure that everybody's treated fairly. And also, the other big point for me is efficiency, making sure not only that they're treated fairly, but that the cases move along in a timely manner so that someone's not waiting years to have a decision made on whatever their dispute is. Yeah, my name is Kim Bailey. I am the nominee for judge of the 162nd Civil District Court. My website is kimbaileyforjudge.com. I would love to have your support, and thank you.
As we come to a close, I just want to make sure that you are aware that tonight's video will be posted to the DallasExaminer.com website tomorrow, as well as we're currently doing Facebook Live, so it'll be on Facebook as well. We encourage you to revisit it, candidates, and if you know of anyone who was intended to be here but was not able to be here, please forward it to them. At this time, I would like to ask, since we did not allow questions, if there's an opportunity that you have a candidate, that you have something that you want to present in terms of letting people know how they can meet you, maybe it's another forum or opportunity where they can ask questions, I'll afford you the opportunity to be able to present that to the group now. Anyone?
Good evening again. I just wanted to let you all know, I know you wanted to ask some questions, but I will be, myself as well as Alpha Kappa Alpha will be hosting a candidates forum on Saturday at Concord at 9:30, and those candidates that you wanted to ask questions to from the 5th District Court of Appeals, they will be there, and you will be able to write your questions and ask them any questions you want to ask them. So please come out, 9:30, Concord Church, candidates forum for the 5th District Court of Appeals. Thank you.
Anyone else have any community news that they would like to share in terms of how we can be candidates between now and then, before the election, before early voting?
Anybody that's a candidate can call in on the show Saturday morning between 7 and 9 a.m.
What show is that, sir?
KNON, Church Informational Forum, Saturday morning between 7 and 9 a.m.
And that number again?
The number I'll announce when the show comes on is 972-647-1893. But some of the candidates, one of the candidates called in, and you gotta keep calling.
It's busy.
It's quite a problem.
All right. Yes.
Can you mention the watch parties that are happening?
I don't have that information. If you know about it, you're more than welcome to tell us who you are and let us know.
I don't have all the addresses up on maybe that.
Okay.
But I do have some.
Okay. You have one? Go ahead. Say it. Okay. All right. All right. Anyone else? Anyone else? All right. Hearing none. Seeing none. All right. Again, you are the most important individual right now in our community. Why? Because you know. Now that you know, it's your responsibility to tell those that don't know. Okay? So you are our griots. You know our history, our storytellers. You are to tell our story. So go forth. Don't let this be a secret. Again, matter of fact, you want this to be a secret because I know if it's a secret, you're going to go tell somebody. But go tell someone about this. And we look forward to you being with us the next time in person. Those that are online, we encourage you to come with us, to be with us at our next candidates forum for Monday Night Politics. As always, our job here at Monday Night Politics is to inform. We're different than any other candidates forum. We don't allow you to go back and forth because we want to educate the community about who you are, what you have to present. Okay? So with that, is there anything else? So with that being said, I thank you for coming out. Appreciate you being here. Thank you for watching us online. Until we meet again, peace.